Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and welcome to day 28 of the 100 Days of Zentangle, the 100 Day Project 2019. It is our last day of our first month. How about that? The last day of our first 30 days, or our first month in the 100 Day Project, a third of the way there almost. And I'm incredibly grateful to all of you for following along. It's made it so much more fun for me to have partners in crime, if you will, in this project. So today's tangle is Chartz. It's an original from Zentangle and really easy, as most of them are. So let me show you quickly how it's done. You've probably already figured it out. We're going to do a couple of variations here. So in its most basic form, Chartz is like the peaks and valleys on a chart. You want to have nice jagged points on it. And you can do them off kilter, sort of the way I did, or you can keep them uniform, as in this example. So then your next step is to aura. You can do this aura thick or thin. Doesn't matter. Then in the original step out, they have black orbs graduating in size, getting a little bit bigger towards the top. And of course, if you want to go past that with another one, you certainly can. And then you repeat that. On both sides. Continuing. Now, I have been aware of this pattern, but I have not used it very often. Just doesn't appeal to me for some reason. However, when I looked it up, I saw one of Maria Thomas's variations in my Zenthology that I really liked, and so I want to sort of show you what she did on that. Okay, she does her aura. Then she puts a little blacked in point and of course you can make these little blacked in diamonds as big or small as you like. Okay, and then now in the variation that she shows, she does more aura-ing or aura-ing, and she changes the width on her auras. So some of them are closer together, which gives them the look of being further back. Sort of like this. And then when we shade this, you will see it's really, really pretty, incredible. And then she does the same thing on the underside. And by adding the little dark points in the middle, she's given this a lot more dimension and drama, plus given us more opportunities to put laid down points in our auras. So all of that is to the good. Let me show you how cool this looks when it's shaded. Okay, this is going to be sort of like when we shaded the spheres yesterday, only these, of course, are not spheres. And Maria has this shaded a couple of ways. She has got first a shading separation for the original pattern, or the original peaks and valleys, if you will. And then she puts down a lot of graphite on both sides of this so that this lifts up the middle. We'll lift up the middle. Then think about your light source. Shade on the side opposite. And you will see how this just, whoops, got a little crazy on that one. Yes, leftover school supplies work. And then shade this side. Although technically, I don't know. Then if I do this, I need to do this too. So, and this. All right, let's see how this turns out when we blend it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is really bring out the middle peaks and valleys, the middle, you want to call it lightning bolt looking thing. Yes, that's my technical term. And I'm going to have to get my mono zero out for this. Definitely going to have to do that. I went a little graphite crazy on this. So let me do that. And sort of clean up the white area. So we've got good contrast. And then I'm going to clean up these sides. These are kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to lift this part out with graphite and then leave the highlights too. Alright. Alright, let me see. Whoops. Let's do this again on the top. It's just really easy to be overwhelmed by graphite in these situations. So you can see this really is multi-dimensional if you shade it in this fashion and do these repetitive auras. The other thing that Linda Farmer had on Tangle patterns was, sorry, grabbed the wrong pen, was some examples from Suzanne McNeil, who has an example that's sort of like this diagonally, and you have your like this, and then she has this area filled with tipple or blacked in, and this area just continuing to aura. But then we get into this looking a little bit like a different pattern that is similar to this. So that's kind of some of the variations that I saw. This is absolutely my favorite one and the one I want to use in the pattern, although maybe I would put some little perfs here and there to sort of remind me of the orbs in the original version. We'll see. I really like this version. So now if you're going to stick with the original version, such as up here, then you can just shade one side and that will give it a more three-dimensional look. Assuming you do a better job than I just did. But play around with it and see what you come up with, and let's put this in our pattern for today. Chartz. Let's see. Thinking about blacking and all that zigzagging, but still I don't think that's the right one. So let's put one right here. Let's do Chartz right here and make sure I've got a black pen. It's always entertaining when it's not. So for Chartz, I think I'm going to again approach this diagonally, so that leaves me a little bit more room. And I think I'm going to play with the height. Ooh, let me not forget my auras. I think once again I'm going to play with the height of the peaks of the zigzags and see what kind of mishmash I can get here. Okay, so I'm going to start with my first aura and I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. Well, a little bit thicker. Like that. Then I am going to put these little black diamonds here in the middle, so there's a little black point coming up in between. There we go. Maybe I need to shift this a little bit. There. There, I think that will look a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to start aura-ing, or aura-ing, depending on what part of the country you're from, and if you care or not. Thank you guys so much for doing this with me every day. It means a lot to me to not be in this project alone. I can only guess that would make it a very lonely place. Alright. Ooh, that's going to look cool. Alright, let's aura the front. Oops. And I'm just going to deal with that being there and get it right this time. Okay. It's about to get a lot faster. There. This is going to be fun shaded. I can already tell. So, I'm going to start down here with my disappearing ribbon. Nice and dark. Then I'm going to, as always, shade this with the light source coming from my right. So I'm going to shade on the left. Not even sure that's going to work. Gonna find out. So shading on the left. Gonna need that mono 0 again on this. I don't know that we're gonna be able to get specific on the shading for that. This might get a little messy, but I definitely want to shade around the original 2 lines. Something tells me I'm going to need a lot of erasing on this because there's a lot of graphite down, but I think it's going to look okay. Let's find out. Let's not wonder, let's just find out. Got a little sloppy there, but I knew I was going to erase. Start just by making sure the original zigzag is nice and clean and light. Then I'm going to remember that my light source was supposed to be on over here, and I'm going to clean up that side just a little bit. And then here, it's going to be right here. Okay. See, how did we do? Oops, I missed a spot. We are almost there. Don't want to move this graphite around too much. But right here, I did not shade or blend this. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave that for now. See how we've got. Yeah, I can live with that. I may do something more with the shading, do another run, sort of deepen in the crevices a little bit more. but I'm fairly pleased with the way that turned out. And I didn't get interrupted once.
What's up?
Hey! Let's put this one in the books. Day 28 of the 100 Days of Zentangle. Join me tomorrow for day 29. And in the meantime, if you're just dying to tangle, you can check out one of my Celtic knot tutorials or one of my gem tutorials and just while away your hours. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.